Like, we have the president threatening to sic the American military on people in Minneapolis, Minnesota today, while simultaneously saying maybe we canceled the elections with martial law. That's not a joke. That's just what he's saying he's going to do. We can't be going, haha, he's just joking, right? Like when he says shit like, I'm going to take Greenland by force. I also made the mistake of thinking, well, that's just insane. That's not going to happen. But it turns out he very much intends to do so. He's not testing out his comedy material, okay? He's testing out his policy material. That's what he's doing when he's just joking. All right. I'm obviously going to talk about Jonathan Greenblatt in a second, too, because he had a very funny moment. Apparently, he's still very mad. He's malding about me. But before we do that, let's get back to the American regime. Ladies and gentlemen, the American regime is alive and well. Our very own mullah, our ayatollah, our very own Shah, our very own monarch, the great, glorious, golden boy, Donald Trump, is doing the damn thing again. Last night, his Gestapo forces shot someone. Once again in Minneapolis, in a neighborhood in northern Minneapolis. And, of course, people were very frustrated by this because there's already a lot of protests that are taking place. And Burger-Tola, Burger Shah, all of that, our burger monarch, he's very frustrated. And he said he's going to throw in the Insurrection Act. He's going to invoke the Insurrection Act. What does that mean? Let's take a look. CNN will explain now.
Is now making a new and serious threat after protests in Minneapolis grew even.
Like, I can't understand how you go from Iranian people, rise up against your masters. You have nothing to lose but your chains. Throw Molotov cocktails at the police. To like the next day be like, I will use the military to kill you dead if you rise up against me. I will use the military to kill you dead. It's awesome.
More chaotic overnight. And there was another shooting involving a federal agent. This agent allegedly ambushed. The president posting this, we'll put it up for you, saying that if Minnesota's politicians don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, I will institute the Insurrection Act. So that could lead to him deploying U.S. troops on U.S. soil in that state. Elena, let me start with you. This has now been taken to a whole new level by the president with this threat. What are you hearing about this?
Yeah, this is a very big deal. And I should know that this is something we've heard President Trump, of course, threaten in the past. He did so during his first term, particularly around the George Floyd protests that had erupted in 2020. But he also recently did it as well when talking about, wanting to crack down on, different types of protests, but even more specifically, maybe having the military help with law enforcement and trying to crack down on crime and deportations in cities like Los Angeles, Portland, and Chicago. But part of the reason this is such a big deal, let me just break down what the Insurrection Act actually is. It is a 19th century law. It's normally considered a last resort for presidents, but it gives presidents the authority to call on active duty military. So you could see potentially people like the Marines or soldiers, National Guard included in that, going into the streets.
Oh, is the audio up again? Hell yeah.
Of U.S. cities for law enforcement activities. And it's normally used only in certain specific cases. It can be used at the objection.
Megaphonics, how have you not fixed the CNN audio yet? What the are they paying you over there? What
of local leaders. And so that carries its own weight here. Now, in my conversations with Trump officials, this was true during the first term, but even more so now, I should argue, in the president's second term, they have essentially told me that this is something they do not want, that they've been very hesitant to essentially go there despite the president threatening this. Some of that is because of the legal complications, but even more so because of the political ones. And having this type of law enforcement, military military in the streets, of course, would potentially escalate things so much further. And so this has all been a calculation behind the scenes. Of course, our goal today is to figure out how serious the president is actually about this and whether they're actually making plans potentially to do something to invoke this act, Kate.
Absolutely. Elena, thank you so much for that.
Joining us now, Andrew McCabe, the CNN senior law enforcement analyst and former deputy director of the FBI. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us. Last night, as you know, Minneapolis saw yet a new wave of very disturbing protests and clashes with police. 1 week ago was the ICE shooting death of Renee Good, and now the president is threatening to invoke what's called the Insurrection Act. 5 years ago, Minneapolis was rocked by violent protests after the police murder of George Floyd. Andy, is Minneapolis sitting on a powder keg right now?
Absolutely, they are, Wolf. And I think you saw that very clearly last night. I think the chaos, the escalation in violence, the overly tactical.
I think you guys are forgetting when Waltz said he was going to call the National Guard. He literally said he was going to call the National Guard because he was worried the protesters would get out of hand. He never said he was going to call the National Guard to defend the citizens. Okay?
Way that law enforcement responded to that assemblage of protesters. They're all very obviously related to the fact that the law enforcement team on the ground having to deal with this situation is not one that is trained for or equipped for or experienced in dealing with large crowd control. These are federal agents. They're not police officers. There's not as many of them as you would need to handle a large crowd. Think about the way that we've seen effective law enforcement responses to large crowds, large protests, whether they be over the George Floyd death or whatever. You typically see a massive number of police officers in riot gear, not carrying shoulder-fired weapons, but rather carrying shields and sometimes batons, less than lethal weapons. And they basically move together in a very systematic.
Can't believe a cop has to correct Wolf Blitzer that ICE are not law enforcement. Yeah, because Wolf Blitzer is a agent of the regime, just as Asmongold is. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are all just repeating whatever the regime is saying. The Trump regime says jump, they say how high. Like, that's the automatic position of all mainstream media. And it's also increasingly become the automatic position of many people who are doing regime media independently. Okay? That's it. And like, liberal media has no other speed. They will defend the status quo. Or even if they are like critical of what's going on, they'll still do it in a way that is like normalizing. That's why I sometimes joke and say like, sometimes I'll joke and like cover what's happening in America in the same way that like CNN would cover what's happening in Iran, right? And if you were to do that, if you were to even it out, you would understand how ruthless and how cruel the Trump regime has been. It's just that they don't do that. Their job is to normalize the violence at the domestic level coming from the state and overemphasize the violence taking place in other states, especially foreign adversary states.
Way to regain territory and disperse the protesters. Right now, you have a much smaller force, totally focused on a tactical response. Half of them are carrying M4s and other very heavy shoulder-fired weapons, rifles. This is a powder keg, and last night you saw it just about go off.
Yeah, it's just not good all around, right? And now you have the president threatening this morning to invoke what's called the Insurrection Act. He said, quote, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act. Let's remind everyone of what the Insurrection Act is. It allows the president to deploy the U.S. military domestically and use that force against citizens. It can only be employed if there's an insurrection or interference with state or federal law. So, Andy, as a former deputy director of the
For the record, I just want to say something. I know a lot of people misunderstood my point that I was making before, but this is precisely what I was talking about when I was saying that, like, this is, you know, what the Trump administration's goals here are to basically keep up the intensity in this pressure cooker scenario So much so that like eventually someone takes matters into their own hands in an act of self-defense. And then, and then they do this and then martial law, right? Because this is the one step. The Insurrection Act is basically a de facto martial law in the area that they're operating, but eventually it'll turn into a full-blown martial law around the country when other states also get mad and they start protesting, they start pushing for it. So that's where we're at. I wasn't saying that because I was like, oh, you should stop resisting or you should stop protesting or anything like that, which is how some charlatans read what I was saying. But I said, it's clear to me that the goal here is to keep escalating until something gives and people push back and then use that as a means to implement martial law and engage in mass repression. Minnesota is a testing ground. But this is what I was talking about. Cancel the elections. Sorry, we have martial law. Nothing you can do about it. I think that's what the game plan is. That's why I've been saying over and over again that these guys are moving like they don't care that there is going to ever be another election. Okay? They are moving, the Trump administration, the Trump regime is moving like they don't care that there is going to be another election ever again. This is what I mean. This is what I mean.
FBI and acting director, do you see any grounds to legitimize the use of the Insurrection Act here?
No, absolutely not. I think there's a lot of indicators on the ground that point towards the need for a much better and very different law enforcement response. This is, we have had, unfortunately, violent protests in this country for a number of...
Like low-key, not to get like Maoist third worldist up in this bitch, but if America was too busy having like its own military engage in domestic repression, this could present an opportunity for every other third world nation to do a bank run in American military bases that will remain unoccupied at that point. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. If you're deploying the American military on American soil against American citizens and there's mass chaos and mass discontent, you got 800 military bases around the world that are looking like prime real estate with a shit ton of weapons. Okay? With a shit ton of weapons. That's all I'm saying. Perhaps this is something that the American government should take into consideration before they move in this weird reactionary way. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Dude, it's like, hold on. What is it? I want everyone in New York. It's like this. Hold on. It's like this. Wait, where is is this it? Oh, God damn it. I can't find it in.
If you're near a convenience store right now, any type of 24-hour store, go into the store right now and put your hand in the cash register for no reason. Their money is your money as of right now. Somebody just pushed their album back. I don't know who. Push it back. If you're near a convenience store right now.
If you're near a forward operating base right now, I want everyone to hear me in the third world. If you are near a forward operating base right now, any type of American military base, go to the base right now, put your hand in the ammunition, put your hand in the armory and grab whatever rifle you can. It's free real estate. Funk finally retired, bro. Was the OG sound effect merchant? Yeah. Put your hand in the Abrams tank. You will figure it out. Throw on a YouTube video. Figure out how to drive one of those Abrams tanks. Okay? It's yours now. It's free. Those rifles are yours. Those guns are your guns now. That Abrams tank is yours. All you need is a YouTube video to figure out how to drive one of those. Or find the most autistic guy in your village. He probably plays War Thunder. He already knows how to drive the Abrams tank. It's a fire sale. He got that shit downloaded.
different reasons, different issues over the last couple of years. And in not one of them has any other president declared to bring in the United States military to take over a city under the Insurrection Act. What you have here is the government, unlike the response to George Floyd, this is an issue in which the government could very quickly de-escalate the tension and the violence on the ground simply by conducting their business differently, right? By pulling back some of these ICE officers, by bringing a less aggressive tactical approach to this entire issue of finding people who are illegally here in this country. That's why there's violence.
Like, you can't tell me this shit is normal, man. What the are we doing? Here. Also, hold on.
How do I start an F-16? The question's real. I stole an F-16. Flip the master, all the lights begin to feel. I stole an F-16. Set the fuel pump, start the number 2. I stole an F-16. Engines whining as the turbines chew. I stole an F-16. Turn the RER power on bright. I stole an F-16. Horizon centered, the line set right. I stole an F-16. Oh, watch the gauges and the needles climb. I stole an F-16. Wait till 20, it will take its time. I stole an F-16. Throttle back down to idle mark. I stole an F-16. Jet breathes deep with a rumbling spark. I stole an F-16. Unlock the gate and push it free. I stole an F-16. The bird comes alive with a roar of glee. I stole an F-16. Roll out the REL power on bright. I stole an F-16. Horizon centered, the line set right. I stole an F-16.
A lot of manuals out there, I'm just saying. All of a sudden, in the event, listen to me, workers of the world, listen to me. In the event that the American military is called back on to the domestic front to dominate Americans on American soil, those bases will be wide open for you. Okay? Those bases will be wide open for you. You might as well take advantage of all of the good stuff that you can sell. You can sell it if you want to. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is there's opportunity everywhere. Okay? There's opportunity everywhere. We'll be tanking. We'll be tanking the damage. We'll be tanking the brunt force of the American military, American empire crumbling from within. But if Donald Trump tries to do some martial law shit, brings all the troops back to U.S. soil so we can dominate everywhere from California to New York, okay? All of those bases are going to be unoccupied. They do not have the time and the supply chains to basically take all of those weapons and bring them back to U.S. soil. They're not going to do that. They normally don't do that anyway. They melt it, right? Famously, they melt it because it's way less costly to just, destroy the stuff on the bases rather than try to ship them back. I mean, it's basically scrap metal at that point. Who gives a right? I'm just saying, 800 military bases around the world that we know of, that's 800 opportunities. I mean, look at the Taliban. We armed them to the teeth. We armed them to the teeth when they were fighting the USSR, and then we armed them once again when we left. We were there so long, everything got outdated. Outdated for us doesn't mean outdated for the Taliban, They're very industrious people. They're enterprising young individuals. They know how to use all of those weapons. They can put those weapons to good use. I'm just careful. This clip will say that and you'll conspire against the U.S. No, I'm just saying, maybe Donald Trump shouldn't do martial law in the United States of America if he doesn't want the rest of the world to decide, oh, these are my weapons now.
Violence and unrest on the street. Now, I'm not saying that violence by protesters is ever necessary or justifiable under any circumstances.
Also, this is called a joke.
Is not. But it is the government that's ratcheting up the tension and the violence here, and they could easily turn that off by simply conducting themselves differently.
Just really quickly to follow up, I mean, you had the situation with the shooting overnight, and DHS says that a Venezuelan national tried to flee and attacked the ICE officer trying to arrest him. I mean, in that situation, do you think a shooting was justified? In that case, he was shot in the leg, that Venezuelan national.
Well, it's very hard to say, Pamela, because we know almost nothing about this. And the reason is that the government's response, their comments in the media following the Renee Good shooting 1 week ago, have proven to us all that we cannot take their statements for granted. We cannot accept what the government is telling us whole cloth. They have no credibility in terms of the way that they are talking about and characterizing the people involved in these events. They absolutely mischaracterized, deliberately mischaracterized Miss Good and her partner as terrorists. They are not terrorists. They didn't commit any act of terrorism. They haven't been alleged to have committed a crime with an indictment or anything like that. So we know that we can't trust what the government is saying about what's happening on the ground. So now you think about what happened last night, and we essentially know nothing at this point. So it's really hard to evaluate that.
We're waiting to hear from the Minnesota officials to get some more details, because right now we only have the DHS side of things.
All right, Andrew McCabe, as usual, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Joining me now is Robin Wansley, a Democrat on the Minneapolis City Council. I want to start with this. The president has just amped things up, saying he is threatening to use the Insurrection Act if things do not calm down there in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. What is your response to that?
Yeah, so just first want to offer clarification that I am the city's first Black Democratic Socialist city council member, minority leader. In terms of Trump threatening to use the Insurrection Act, I don't think any of us on the ground here are surprised. Essentially, what Trump has been inching to do since he first deployed ICE agents to Minneapolis about 6 weeks ago was really to build to this place where he can normalize using his administrative powers to go to war with local cities who do not fall in alignment with his administration's political goals, which is to divide.
Realize that like 80% of active duty uniformed military members are based in the U.S. Yeah, I mean, this is I need you to understand something. I'm joking, okay? Like, this wasn't actually a sincere thing that I was saying, that people in Djibouti should go and storm the American military base. I don't think there's many people tuning in from the third world regardless into the Hasanabi broadcast. It's mostly just LARPers. Okay? That's right. Don't mince words. He wants war. Yeah. Like, I wasn't saying you can genuinely learn how to pilot an F-16 off of a TikTok AI music video.
People, terrorize people, keep people in poverty, deprive working class people of their basic needs and also their civil liberties. And Minneapolis is a testing ground in which he's trying to normalize, legalize these very terroristic actions that's coming from our own administration here in the U.S. that we often see happen abroad, actions that we wage against communities abroad. He's doing that right here in his own homelands, his own country that he took oath to serve and protect. So I am not surprised.
So there was another moment here where Donald Trump apparently told Reuters that he might cancel the midterms. Just kidding. So there was a question that was brought up in the press briefing this morning, and Caroline Leavitt responded in the way that you expect. Let's take a look. About the president's interview with Reuters. Yeah, he had an interview with the Reuters journalist, and he was like, maybe I just cancel the midterms. Unless nobody's going to stop me. Who's going to stop me? Are you going to stop me? Everyone's telling me elections are silly. Elections are silly. It's boring. It's woke. It's woke. So, yeah, this guy follows up on it.
About the president's interview with Reuters, you said that he was joking about canceling the elections. But Americans for generations have fought and died for democracy, for this democracy. Are you saying that the president finds the idea of canceling elections funny?
Andrew, were you in the room? No, you weren't. I was in the room. I heard the conversation, and only someone like you would take that so seriously and pose it as a question in that way.
Yeah, dude, just like when President Trump, when he was, campaigning to become president, was like, Project 2025, don't know what that is. Never read it. Don't like reading. Don't know how to read. I'm illiterate, folks. What do you mean, Project 2025? What the is that? And then a couple months in, he's like, actually, I love Project 2025. And also, I've been implementing it every step of the way. And also, here's the architect of Project 2025. I am going to send him as a threat during this government shutdown to blue states and your lives up. Yeah, remember when he was just joking? Or when he was just joking, I guess, when he was talking about mass deportations taking place? He wasn't joking. He was being serious, okay? He doesn't joke. When he makes these sorts of jokes, it's not actually a joke. We can't be going, haha, he's just joking, right? Like when he says shit like, I'm going to take Greenland by force, because I also made the mistake of thinking, well, that's just insane. That's not going to happen. But it turns out he very much intends to do so. And it kind of feels like no one can stop him. So let's just stop with this like, oh, I'm just joking. He's not testing out his comedy material, okay? He's testing out his policy material. That's what he's doing when he's just joking. What the Like, we have the president threatening to sic the American military on people in Minneapolis, Minnesota today, while simultaneously saying maybe we canceled the elections with martial law. That's not a joke. That's just what he's saying he's going to do.
I have a question for you on Minnesota and then also Venezuela.
Sure.
President Trump threatened invoking the Insurrection Act today in a Truth Social post. I'm wondering what his tipping point is. Like, what would it take for him to invoke the Insurrection Act?
Look, that's only a question, frankly, Reagan, the president can answer. But the Insurrection Act is a tool at the president's disposal. As you know, it has been used sparingly, but it has been used by previous presidents in American history. And I think the president's Truth Social post spoke very loud and clear to Democrats across this country, elected officials who are using their platforms to encourage violence against federal law enforcement officers, who are encouraging left-wing agitators to unlawfully obstruct legitimate law enforcement operations. And if you talk to any law enforcement officer, no matter what level they work at, they want to be working with their counterparts, whether that's at the federal level or the federal authorities wanting to work with their counterparts at the state and local level. And it's truly shameful that now for more than a year,
I hate that this is the most like overtly, not like covertly authoritarian, but the most overtly authoritarian government we've had in quite a while. And they're also doing like bodies and spaces ass rhetoric, like words are violence ass rhetoric, standpoint epistemology, my white feelings are hurt, all this shit. It's like, how can you simultaneously be so whiny and so dictatorial at the same time? Like, it's the worst of both worlds. It's both cringe, it's so soy, but it's also so unimaginably reactionary and so violent at the same time.
You've had
it is very Israeli coded. Yes, it is. It is exactly what modern fascism looks like. We genuinely look to Israel to be like, okay, what are the next steps here? You know? Over and over again, we just cry bully our way through everything.
Elected Democrat governors and mayors who have basically held their state and local law enforcement.
Is there a baby in the room? What the f is going on? Wait, what?
It's truly shameful that now with their counterparts at the state and local level. And it's truly shameful that now for more than a year, you've had elected Democrat governors and mayors who have basically held their state and
They just got Goo Goo Gaga in the press pool now? What the hell? Bro, these Republican influencers are getting younger and younger, dude. No, that's just Nick Shirley. He's there to ask a question, but mommy didn't give a binky yet, so he's acting out.
Local law enforcement hostage and told them, you cannot cooperate with federal law enforcement. Why? They cooperated under the Biden administration. It's because these Democrats are deranged in their hatred for President Trump, and they are holding their state and local law enforcement hostage as a result. And these Democrat mayors and governors are doing
It's her snack for later. Oh, God. Oh, brother.
this over
Just a little snack on the side, you know?
what? Over the lawful and legitimate law enforcement operations to remove violent criminals from the streets of Minnesota, from the streets of California, from the streets of New York, and from the streets of every state across this country. And you don't see these riots and this vandalism taking place in states like Florida. Why? Because you have a governor in that state who has empowered federal and local authorities to work together. And it's despicable what we're seeing from these Democrat politicians, especially in sanctuary states and cities across the country. That matter.
White House press secretary calls reporter left-wing hack. The argument is so boring. Is always deranged. Is TDS. Is the communism. Is this and this. Yeah. What communism? Where's the communism? Can we have a little bit of communism, please? It seems to me like the only thing that is like communism is what we have decided is what communists do over there, but we have decided to do it over here. Like all the negative aspects of what we associate with communism, we're literally doing here, even though it's not communism at all, with none of the benefits. Talk about bread lines. We got bread lines, and we still have to pay for it. At least when they had bread lines, the government was paying for the bread. It's crazy. Oh, look at these ugly city blocks. They're so gray. They're so ugly. Look at this brutalist architecture. Look at this government. Look at these government housing units. It's like, bitch, what's better? 1 million homeless people sleeping outside tonight, or those government housing blocks? Give me the government housing blocks now.
Thanks, Caroline. Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Noem spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly.
To be fair, this guy is a left-wing hack, okay?
2 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 U.S. citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking?
They let him in because he said he was an Irish Republican, and they thought it meant the same thing in America. They didn't realize it means something different over there.
My opinion, because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
You, dude. God damn, dude. What the Oh my God, they got nothing up there, man. They got nothing. It's just worms for brains. These people have it's like a tin can up there with quarters just hitting both sides of an otherwise empty brain, empty skull.
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals. And
yeah, the heinous individual happens to be your barback or your landscaper or your neighbor. Like half the time, more than half the time with no criminal record whatsoever. Just a guy trying to make ends meet, guy with a family of American-born U.S. citizen children. Everybody understands that at this point. It's only like the smallest minority of psychopaths that look at that and go, this is what I voted for. I mean, the mother of this person's niece was apprehended and detained and I think slated to be deported by ICE. Caroline Leavitt, okay? So she has skin in the game. But because she is such a regime-pilled dickhead, She can't even see the humanity of her own immediate relatives. Okay, lest we forget. It's so crazy. What are we doing? You cannot win elections on the Asmongold based constituency. You just can't do that. They did the meme. What meme? Oh, the Virgin Molotov cocktail, the Chad jar of piss. Oh yeah, I saw this. They threw piss. Make sure to write that down. Bortac agent in Minneapolis says a bottle of alleged urine was thrown at his vehicle earlier.
Write that down. You said someone threw a bottle full of piss at you? Is that what?
Yeah. You wanted all this is all piss.
You're okay with me coming?
He's like, they're pissing on us. They're pissing on us. Brother, look at the gear you have on. What you mean they're pissing on us? What am I supposed to do? Feel bad for you? Get the fuck out of the neighborhood.
We were to take a shot of
Somebody threw a bottle of piss and it went all inside the vehicle too.
Oh no, dude, what? When you were training in Nicaragua, did you think that your job was going to be, I don't know, infiltrating cartels or dominating random wine moms in a Minneapolis suburb? Have some respect for yourself, dickhead. These guys are Bortac, chat, okay? And that's the reason why they have different gear, if you noticed. And that's the reason why they have, and they also are very, very trained, okay? They're trained very differently than the average ICE agent is. These are not like the 47-day trainees. This is Bortac, the tactical unit for Border Patrol, okay? It's basically the SWAT team for Border Patrol. They train with foreign militaries. They train on foreign soil. They actually are like, they're deployed for combating like the cartel and shit like that, okay? And now they're in their Wagoneer that they rented out or brought from Missouri, I don't know, complaining about having piss thrown at them. What are you doing? Do you not have any respect for yourself? Like, what are we doing here?
That's the peaceful protest you're seeing. You guys can't be running red lights. You guys are gonna T-bone into some family.
Yeah, for sure.
Drive safe, like, come on.
That's awesome. Virgin Molotov cocktail. Petrol is expensive. If you fuck up, you set yourself on fire. Giving money to the oil companies. Getting petrol without a car sucks. Police are looking for them. The Chad jar of piss costs next to nothing. Easier to throw. You get the satisfaction of hearing a cop yell, "Oh my God, this is piss." Can be filled on site. Why, officer, those jars are for my cold brew business. Literally anyone can make piss. Nobody expects you to use jars of piss as a weapon. Yeah. They threw piss. Make sure to write that down. I got you. I don't think they understand. Like, there is no sympathy for you, big dog. There is no sympathy here for you, especially in a otherwise comical scenario where you are a trained soldier, trained to kill, trained to do special weapons and tactics style operations, okay, on foreign soil. And now you're deployed to go and dominate random white wine moms that are doing neighborhood watch in a Minneapolis suburb. Of course, everyone's going to make fun of you. Why the would anyone care about you in this situation? You're geared up and ready to brutalize regular ass Americans. Suck my dick. Anyway, before we get back into this stuff, there was one other thing I wanted to cover, and that is, of course, my favorite enemy, my favorite op, Jonathan Greenblatt, ladies and gentlemen. Jonathan Greenblatt is, once again, I don't know what kind of conference he's doing, but he's doing some shady backdoor conference, complaining about, people hating Israel once again, right? Oh, this is the longer one. Oh, damn, Tucker Carlson. Is he coming to my defense? That's crazy. ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt, while speaking before an LA synagogue, suggests he's helping people behind the scenes to take down Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, and Hasan Piker. I need people on the right to take down Tucker, so I'm trying to help Ted Cruz, Greenblatt reveals. I need people on the right to take down Nick Fuentes, so I'm trying to help people like Ben Shapiro. He says he's doing the same thing on the left.
Jonathan, can you comment on Nick Fuentes, and what do you actually do that effectively can counter what he does?
That's a South African, isn't it? Is that a South African man in a Los Angeles synagogue? Wow. Shocking turn of events. I see the ADL is back to its old ways in some ways. You know, it hasn't changed at all. No, that's not a fresh immigrant. I don't think that's a fresh immigrant. Okay.
And what are your expectations of the government to be critical of a person that has that kind of platform?
So for everyone's benefit, the question was, can I comment on Nick Fuentes and what he does, and what are you doing to counter him, and what's the government's role?
By the way, his second name is Joseph, a good Jewish name.
Nick Fuentes' second name is Joseph?
Yes.
Look, his last name is Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is a Hispanic person, okay? And he is an open, unapologetic, racist, homophobe, and more than anything, an anti-Semite. He's a toxic, disgusting person, and yet, thanks to X and social media.
Who brought him back on X? Jonathan, who brought him back on X? Yeah, he also calls it X. Gross. Did you see Canada's APAC wants to bar you from the country? Yeah, I saw that. Who unbanned him, Jonathan? Say it with your chest, big dog. You were defending him not that long ago when he was throwing up the double sig heil, as a matter of fact. When you said he was just a quirked up white boy. Remember? Remember the guy that you hang out with all the time? The guy you hang out with all the time? He is the one who unbanned him.
He's been incredibly effective at getting his message out there. I mean, social media is a super spreader of anti-Semitism and hate. And people like Nick Fuentes, they're like patient zero spreading.
Hell
this.
yeah, 51
Look,
likes.
it didn't help us when candidate, whatever you'd call him, former President Trump had him over for dinner, like at Mar-a-Lago a few years ago. And it doesn't help us that when given the opportunity, people in positions of power don't renounce this guy. Now, look, to his credit, J.D. Vance has done that. But we have this challenge right now on the right, and it's like a good thing because there are bad voices who've been elevated. Like, look, Nick Fuentes is disgusting. Tucker Carlson is disgusting. Candace Owens is disgusting, and so on. But there have been good people like Ted Cruz and Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin who are pushing back on these, Speaker Johnson, pushing back on these revolting lunatics. So to answer the question, I think the only way we are going to defeat the rising anti-Semitism on the right is from the right. I think the only way we're going to defeat the rising anti-Zionism on the left.
Wow. Notice he doesn't say rising anti-Semitism on the left, and it switches gears to anti-Zionism. For this crowd, of course, there's no difference between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. As a matter of fact, anti-Zionism is even worse than anti-Semitism in many cases, right?
Is by people on the left. So what I try to do at ADL, what we try to do, is to provide data, is to provide tools, is to step up, but often quietly behind the scenes. It doesn't help. I don't think it helps the Jewish people, and it doesn't disarm them.
Yeah, you know what helps the Jewish people? When you, as a representative of combating anti-Semitism, run around talking about how you, as a Jewish person, as a Jewish representative, associate all of the crimes of Israel with Jews, and then say, as a representative of the Jews here in the United States of America, I am controlling the media in secret backroom dealings. I'm sure this will not foment anti-Semitism. In an effort to combat anti-Semitism, he's basically just literally making people more anti-Semitic. He's just running around being like, hey guys, just want to let you know, I am controlling the media. Obviously, the very fact that I have not been banned yet is a testament to how little motion he has. Little bald man over here. But yeah, we're trope maxing. We're doing tropes. Yeah. The reason why he's doing it quietly behind the scenes is because it's not working. Because he's not just doing it quietly behind the scenes. He's doing it very publicly as well.
When I go after Nick Fuentes or Hasan Piker, a revolting person, you should call him Hamas Piker.
No! Oh, got him! Oh, we got to run that back. Look. This is the part that I saw where he like briefly brings up Nick Fuentes and then has so much more to say about me.
And it doesn't disarm them when I go after Nick Fuentes or Hasan Piker, a revolting person. They should call him Hamas Piker. He's here in LA. And he's just a putrid, says horrible, slanderous things about Jews, about Zion.
Hamas Piker. Putrid. I hate him. I hate him so much. Oh, bro, this is my J. Jonah Jameson, dude. Why I oughta get me pictures of Spider-Man. Oh, I wonder who he's working with on the left, by the way. Quite the interesting situation. Who could he be working with on the left to take down Hamas Piker?
Says horrible, slanderous things about Jews, about Zionists, about Israel.
And has a big platform.
Yeah, so you might not know Hasan Piker, but if your kids are watching video games, you better believe they do. Because on Twitch and on Steam, he's everywhere, let alone on YouTube.
Steam. I'm everywhere on Steam, dude. You don't even know. Every video game has a little Hamas Piker in it, okay? Every single developer has aligned with Hamas Piker. We are doing the resistance. Mukawama, okay? This is what we are doing. Every video game has a little Hasan Piker in it.
An Insta. So anyways, long story short, we definitely are working a lot to try to get the platforms to kind of enforce their own terms of service so that we can pull down the most offensive hate speech or get them to do it. But I need people on the right to take down Tucker Carlson. So I'm trying to help Ted Cruz. I need people on the right to take down Nick Fuentes. So I'm trying to help people like Ben, and same thing on the left.
I do just want to say, when I talked in the sermon about the nuance of every human being and how we're all children, I didn't mean Nick Fuentes.
At least he doesn't have smoke for me. At least he's like, yeah, Nick Fuentes. Jonathan, on the other hand, is like, no, Hamas Piker. Yeah, so everybody has been clowning on this dipshit on the timeline. Great. The ADL found the 500,000 Hassan-centered Max Payne clones I listed for sale on Steam. Carl Biger says he's lying. My Hassan schoolgirl skin for Isekai Succubus isn't even allowed on Steam Workshop. You can only get it on Nexus mods. Just imagining Greenblatt in a dream sequence levels, but instead of the crying baby, is Hassan saying truthful things about Israel. Truthful but hurtful. Yeah. It's so awesome. It's so awesome, dude. I mean, I love it personally. Keep coping, keep seething. I said, Jonathan Greenblatt is more mad at me, an avowed anti-Zionist, than Nick Fuentes, an open anti-Semite. Very interesting priorities for this asshole. And yeah. It's so funny because it's like he's just so mad. He's so mad that his project is failing. He is like literally the worst at his job. I cannot think of a person that is worse at his job than Jonathan Greenblatt. Because like technically his job is supposed to be, he's not lying. What is this? What the is this? The Fire Rises character expansion. Oh, this is. Wait, what? I guess I am all over it, dude. Mr. Beast, civilian, military, Joe Biden, Zoran Mamdani, Asmongold, Ben Shapiro, Brandon Herrera, Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump, Tyler Robinson. List of current features: APA General, Hasan Piker, Luigi Mangione, Kanye West, Luigi Mangione, Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes got more mentions than me. What the hell? How to unlock characters. Even the way Hassan bin Laden, Lamau, your haters are everywhere. Hasanabi unbanned after one single day. Why? Funny how VTubers get banned for more than Hassan bin Laden. What is happening on Steam? Okay, maybe they are talking about me on Steam. I didn't realize. Yeah, Jonathan Greenblatt was watching me play Dispatch, and he did not like that I chose Blonde Blazer. He was devastated. He was actually also a Waterboy truther. Hamas Piker didn't even choose Waterboy, it was obviously the real play. Is he homophobic as well as anti-Zionist, which is the worst crime you can be? It's the worst type of bigotry you can engage in. Speaking of which, we have the Canadian CIJA, didn't know what this was. Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs is the advocacy agent of Jewish Federations of Canada, UIA, representing Jewish federations across Canada. Says, controversial U.S.-based streamer Hasan Piker is scheduled to speak at the University of British Columbia on February 12th. He has a long-standing record of statements that justify violence, endanger public safety, amplify extremist actions, and demonize Jews and Israelis. Canada's immigration law is clear. Foreign nationals do not have an inherent right to enter Canada. We're calling on the government of Canada to review this matter and act decisively. Okay? Head to actionhub.ca to urge Vancouver-based local MPs ensure authorities do not allow individuals to promote dangerous rhetoric and platform Canadian-listed terrorist entities into our country. He must be stopped before it's too late. And this is Avi Lewis, who is running for, I think, NDP leadership right now. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe the husband of famous professor, been on the stream already for a brief moment, Naomi Klein. She was at the Zohran Mamdani. She was at the Zohran Mamdani election night victory party. We talked briefly, if you recall. But yes, I will be at University of British Columbia. Hey, Hassan the Hun, excited to welcome you to my university. Here's a briefing we wrote on the group trying to have you barred from the country. Yes, Trumpism Canadian style. It's a thing. But yeah, that's wonderful. If I am allowed into the country, I will be at University of British Columbia. They treating you like you're Maccabi Tel Aviv coming to town. Okay, first of all, if I was actually a hooligan, Maccabi Tel Aviv, oh, they listed your crimes here. Send a message. More information. On October 29th, New York Congressman Richie Torres sent a letter to the Twitch CEO Dan Clancy to express an alarm about the amplification of anti-Semitism on Twitch in the hands of Hasan Piker. On a live stream, he said, it doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me. The Palestinian resistance is not perfect. Yeah, it doesn't justify genocide, which was true. It's a true statement. He platformed a Yemeni TikTok influencer who is claimed a Houthi pirate by the name of Rashid El Haddad on his live stream. Again, none of my good crimes. During a Twitch live stream, which is no longer available, Piker said America deserved 9/11. In an undated live stream, he demonized Orthodox Jews as inbred. Not even what happened. On October 12, 2025, Piker tweeted demonizing Israel as innocent Israeli hostages were returned home. Wait, which one is that? God, I talk so much shit about Israel, I don't even know. Oh, this. Israel is mathematically tens of thousands of times more barbaric than Hamas ever could be. This is not even in dispute. Anyone who refuses to see this is blind. It's true. Literally, when you don't have an argument and you want to defend your favorite genocidal ethno-state, you just go, oh, anti-Semitism. Why I oughta. Please stop spamming Sasha Riley, okay? I'm not going to get to that right now. Yeah, my bad tweet is one that they just have no answer for. What is this, Kick Clips? Why am I clicking on a Kick Clips link? What the is wrong with me? All right, where's the website? Wait, did I accidentally click out of the website? Where the did the website go? Hold on, I'll find it. I'll open it again. Wait, no. Can you send me the link again? Where did I can't, Control-Shift-T is not working, which means the website is still open somewhere, right? I lost the tab. I don't know how. Oh, it's because I clicked through. Got it. One of my favorite things that these guys also end up doing on accident is they post like sexy photos of me to be like, look at this dangerous man. We cannot let this dangerous man on campus. And it's like, it's just like a hot photo of me. I always, they should have posted like when they did the handsome face of terror apologia. That's why it's my favorite article that's ever been written about, my commentary. Hasan Piker's rhetoric is incompatible with Canadian values and raises serious public safety concerns, especially amid the surge of anti-Semitism we've seen across social media platforms on our university campuses on the streets of Vancouver. How old are you? How old do you think I am? Their community wins section. Wait, IRGC listed as a terrorist group. Toronto International Film Festival. Hizb ut Tahrir canceled as a terrorist organization. Safe access zones for Toronto. Confronting the Iranian threat. None of these seem like big W's, I don't think. Kneecap ineligible to enter Canada. I think they're just like taking ownership over shit that's happened. Yeah, it was like a rogue MP that decided to do that, right? Straight up propaganda media. I mean, this isn't even media. This is like a... This is where the... What is this? The watermelon seller Emperor Sardukar from the age of 6. They are trained in the ways of watermelon merchant warfare. In order to even feed themselves, they must outwit and maneuver Turkey's top ice cream tricksters who hold dominion over all their food. He deleted the post in shame. Good. How dare you speak out against the Turkish Sardukar. Tehranto? Please get it right. Tehranto? Are you going to meet Northern Lion? Is Northern Lion in that part of Canada? Is he around British Columbia? Because if he is, I 100% will link up. Oh, 100p. Yeah, I'll link up with him. Oh, I would love to link up with him. That'd be sick. Vancouver sold out. Rachel Maddow a week before, not sold out. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Sold out arenas. You already know what it is. You are a brand risk. He don't know you, little bro. No, I'm going to hit him up right now, actually, and see if we can link up and build. Link up and bald. When are you having that family podcast on? Oh, the podcasters that talk to their hog mom and dad. I'm not just having them on. I'm having their parents on as well. We're going to be calling in from the studio to have a conversation with them, and that's going to happen next week. That will take place next week, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's continue. Are you going to meet up with Trainwrecks too? Isn't he in Vancouver now? Probably not. All right. Where were we? So I talked about the imminent threat that I present to the great, glorious nation of Canada with my virulent anti-Zionism. Big threat, big danger, very scary stuff, guys. Israel is fucking gross and awful. And obviously, that's the worst thing you can possibly say. It's the most anti-Semitic thing you can possibly think. You should not think it. Am Israel Chai. Am Israel Chai all the way.
Nuts.
Anyway, here's a clip that's going viral of let's get back to Amer Israel, okay? Our very own backyard, also Israelifying at an alarming rate. Let's take a look.
This is nuts. This is and you're right in the middle of this shit. What the is going on, dude? This is insane.
Have you ever gone out to these sort of things before?
Never. I've never protested in my life. My brother's here. He does it all the time. I've never. Like I said, I'm far enough away, but close enough, and I sit in my cushy house and look at shit and get mad, and they're just trying to scare people, and but why shoot people? You know what really pisses me off is the fact that they detain people, cuff them, and then still beat the shit out of them. They tell you it's immigrants, only immigrants. It's anybody. I have friends that got detained, and all they were doing was driving home from work. What the
Sounds like you don't fit the definition of the...
No, I'm not paid to be here like everybody says. What the is that? I gotta work in the goddamn morning, just like everybody else. I'm just here trying to stand up for community, dude.
This is the real median voter, by the way. This is precisely the reason why I was saying, like, whatever you see on the internet and on Twitter is not real, okay? That does not represent the broad majority of Americans. The broad majority of Americans that don't vote or vote Republican but are otherwise normies and not thinking about it, like, it's very difficult for you to comprehend how out of touch most non-voters are, okay? Because you're constantly tapped in. You're in this ecosystem where you're being pummeled with, like, everything that Donald Trump is doing, everything the Democrats are doing. It's sometimes really difficult for you to comprehend, like, what the normie person thinks, okay? This is the normie person that saw what happened in his own backyard and was like, this is ridiculous. This is it.
We're all human beings here. I don't give a shit who you are, where you came from, what color you are. It doesn't matter. This is wrong. This is not.
Yeah. No, this is how the average person is reacting to it. What you see on this website, dudes like are far more representative of the median than people who keep spamming, yeah, I voted, and get 30K botted likes. She's gonna fall. Are you talking about Kaya? Nah, she's got it. Your tweet writing voice is like Nick Shirley's all-time voice. Okay, calm down. Up. Even if it's true, you shouldn't say such things. Yeah, from afar, you think, oh my God, half of Kaya's body is off the bed. What you fail to consider is that she's very fat. And her fat rolls may look like she's actually falling off the bed, but there's a lot more fat on the other side of the bed. So she's not falling off anytime soon. That's not fat, it's skin. Stop bullying her. She's fat and also has a lot of skin. Notice how someone was mean to you about your Twitter voice and now you're being mean to Kaya. Do better, Hasanabi. True. Fair. The best. Bite him? Oh, you mean bite him, Kaya? Oh, I bite her sometimes. I bite her fat rolls sometimes. A little chomp. Let her cover some news for once. You don't want to hear what she has to say. She is far more radical than I am, chat. She is far more radical than I am. You understand? Like sometimes you hear, if you heard the things that she says about what must happen to America, because remember, she's Chinese, okay? She's a real Maoist. She thinks Deng was revisionist. She thinks that China is doing social fascism now. I always try to tell her, like, you don't understand, like, they're moving at their own pace in a transitional socialist state. She's like, no, there's no such thing. They've betrayed Mao. Mao said Taiwan and Israel are two imperial bases in Asia. Israel for the Arabs, Taiwan for the Chinese. Like she's like, where's China? She keeps saying like China, if they were real, if they were still following the legacy of Mao Zedong, if they were still applying Mao Zedong thought, they would have already attacked Israel. And I'm trying to explain to her, like, you know, China's trade maxing, right? Yeah. So I'd probably get banned if I had Kaya on the stream. I'd probably get banned. W imagination on your part for Kaya backstory? No, she is. She said like Mao Zedong in I forget exactly what year. She knows better. I keep forgetting, but she said Mao Zedong said Taiwan and Israel are two colonial outposts for Western imperialism. Taiwan for the Asians and Israel for the Arabs. Yeah. Mao Zedong. Yeah, she said that the front of you. Aiden Ross calls out Hasan for constantly shocking his dog and Kaya and preaching. Dude, you said this is a serious clip, and then the clip he sent me is this. Aiden Ross calls out Hasan for constantly shocking his dog Kaya and preaching nonsense to his audience while living in a $6 million mansion. Shy face. Thank you, chatter. It is. Bro, you must address this now. Watch it. Yes, you're right. My house's property value went up. It's $6 million now. I love you though. Well, thank you. I love you too, chatter. What is this? Bro, unrelated to drama, but this made me spit my coffee. Liberal women will divorce their husband and only let him see his children once a month and cry about how ICE hurts their families. Yeah? Oh, come on. Oh, come on, dude. God, perhaps the most divorced man in America. Is there a level of divorce that's worse than this? I mean, this is like Kanye levels of divorced, right? Yes. Anyway, speaking of my $6 million mansion, of course, all of your subscriptions to the Piker Broadcasting Service go to the Hasanabi Mansion Fund. So please subscribe if you would like to see me in an even nicer mansion. This time a $10 million one. Oh, this is, wait, how did you get this photo of Kaya's room? This is Kaya's bedroom. PBS is sponsored by nobody except for you. Okay? You, the people. And PBS, Piker Broadcasting Service, is sponsored by you, the chatters, the chat, the audience, and it's for you, the chat, the chatters, the audience. Thank you. Piker Broadcasting Service. If you want to learn tomorrow's news today. Oh, yeah, there's this as well. This is a horrible story. I'm going to get to it in a second. Oh, now that we've done some fun stuff. Every Democratic Party governor should join a mutual defense pact. They should call on France, Germany, and the UK to send observers of the situation in their cities. The United States is on the verge of a major rupture. Oh, God. I mean, he's not wrong, but it is pretty funny to think that they would have any power. You know what I mean? Yeah, what are they going to do? They can't even stop America from taking Greenland, dude. What is this? Greenland will never be yours. We, the Dutch, are sending 1 officer to Greenland. Excuse me. The Germans are sending 13. Okay? The Germans are sending 13 officers. 13 officers. The Dutch are sending 1. It's a real coalition. A coalition of the willing, if you will. I'm going to have to get involved. That's funny because that's basically like what this chatter is saying. I'm going to have to get involved if Donald Trump keeps acting up is basically has the same power of, you know, Germany sending 13 troops to Greenland, you know? You might as well go there and check out the situation on your own, you know? This is the Dutch soldier, by the way. The one guy the Dutch sent, De Hunekop. What the is this? I don't even know what this is. It sounds like a slur. Anyway, no, that was unfortunate clickbait. The NL thing was a high-ranking general scouting for American training exercises. You probably know already, but I found out Greenland's population is like 90% Inuit, so it's probably the same old. So it's the same old white supremacy abroad. Yeah, and they got tattoos. They got face tats, bro. Scary. Okay. Do you know how scary that is? Think about that. MS-14.
Make our communities safer.
We began in Minnesota, where there's another shooting involving ICE. This time, a man was shot in the leg. The shooting prompted a new round of protests last night, and federal agents once again used controversial tactics against the demonstrators. Lana Zach joins us from Minneapolis. Lana, good morning. So what do we know about this shooting?
Well, honestly, there's a lot that we still don't know, but federal officials say a migrant was shot in the leg after attacking an agent with a shovel. We have yet to confirm that story, but it's just the latest in a city that is still reeling just about a week after the shooting of Renee Good. I spoke with her attorney about what comes next.
Overnight, federal agents and protesters facing off again after an ICE officer shot a Venezuelan migrant in the leg. According to DHS, the officer acted in self-defense following an attack by the man and 2 other people using a snow shovel and broom.
This is an impossible situation that our city is presently being put in.
Earlier, Governor Tim Walz had urged Minnesotans to protest peacefully and to document what he called ICE agents' atrocities.
They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens. They're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement.
This is the second person shot by ICE agents in a week.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
The mission that we've been told about for over a year is that it's to get the worst of the worst. I can tell you that Renee was the best of the best.
We spoke to Renee Good's family attorney, Antonio Romanucci.
Did Renee weaponize her car?
Looking at that video, the speed of the car, the direction it was turned, and what she said to those officers beforehand, the totality of the circumstances would indicate that she did not weaponize her car.
On Tuesday, 6 federal prosecutors stepped down amid pressure, sources say, to treat Good's killing as an assault on the ICE officer. Now,
this is so nutty, dude. Like, federal government sends 2,000 psychopathic Gestapo to Minneapolis. One of the psychopaths ends up killing a 37-year-old mom in broad daylight. And then instead of going, hey, my bad, this was an accident, we should this is a bad apple, but ICE actually does a good job, they decide to put the pedal to the metal and double down, triple down, quadruple down, and try to find a way to be like, no, this person is actually totally deserving and a terrorist. And not only that, but also on top of that, her wife is also a terrorist. They're a part of a terror network. It's so insane.
Now the family is pursuing its own separate investigation.
The thought that there is only a one-sided investigation is really not palatable to the family, nor should it be to the government or the American people.
As for Jonathan Ross, the agent who killed Good, federal officials say his actions were also in self-defense and that he suffered internal bleeding. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche accused Governor Walz and Mayor Fry of stoking violence. The mayor says he is calling for peace.
Moist Critical had a take on this. Okay. See, woke is back. I told you. Black t-shirt and all.
To speak on Renee Good. Shit is horrible. I still can't believe that anyone thinks that that was defensible action from ICE. Of course, Charlie is a lib. It is incredible how someone can watch a video and depending on like their political brain, they'll see two different things. An ICE agent putting himself in front of a vehicle that is like the anti-protocol. And when the vehicle moves and turns to the right, just immediately starts blasting. Then it's like, yep, justified. In a sane society because it was justified. Whatever, brother. You got a crazy set of eyes on you, man. I'll tell you, if this happened on Joe Biden's watch, it would be a very different tune right now if an American citizen got gunned down in her car.
It's true. Again, the normie meter has spoken. This is out. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. Woke is back. Cutie Cinderella selling guy stickers. All this shit is coming back in a big way. I told you. And the pivotal point that I saw wasn't even this year. It was last year when the first ICE protest happened in Los Angeles. That's when people were like, oh, that was the first time when people went, wait a minute, this is not good. She's not selling them. She's giving them for free. Oh, my bad. I don't know what she's doing. And for the record, this isn't even like a woke take. When I say woke is back, like this isn't even supposed to be woke. Okay. This is supposed to be normal. This is the normie take.
Things that
so this is what I saw.
We don't cover the news here. However, there's some things that I don't feel comfortable not saying anything about. Of course, everything that's going on in the world right now is horrible and terrible. And there's something you guys know about me, and I like leading change with kindness. That's something that is very, very, very important to me. And something that I've seen a lot of impact with. And so it's not something that I'm going to stop doing. And so something that
it took Charlie this long to turn woke? No, man. Charlie's always been woke adjacent. Look, I call balls and strikes. Charlie has always had a very woke takes. I mean, he literally defended trans people, okay? That's the one thing, like, defending trans people or criticizing Israel I don't know, a couple months ago, like maybe a year ago, is unthinkable. It's not his fault. He's from Florida. He pushed Kaigate, though. I don't care. Yes, I know. He did. Okay. He did. Does he lean into stuff on the internet when he sees things going a certain direction? He does. He's got to continue farming his like balanced and nuanced perspective. And someone like myself is obviously very biased and draw up a lot of attention and anger and resentment from a lot of people who also assume that they're actually centrist or whatever it is what it is. Okay.
are going to be doing to help, help lead the world with kindness, but also spread how I feel is I Paint Burbs made an incredible drawing of a bird destroying a piece of ice that says ice. And I'm commissioning 500 stickers of that bird. I'm going to put a link.
He gave Sneeko more grace than you, man? Yes, because at the time when he was talking about Sneeko was also a part of that like edgy normie sphere audience. Okay? That's it.
In our Discord where you can essentially sign up and get a free sticker. because I want you guys to have free stickers that say that. So I think that's awesome, and I think it's important. And also, a percentage of the stickers are going to support families that are being torn apart by ICE, and so I am paying her. And then also donating $2,000 because of how much I'm spending. It's $2,000 is going to the cause. And so, yeah, I'm really excited. And just, be ready in the Discord for a free sticker because fuck them.
Anyway, didn't mean for this to get clipped. Was just excited to give my community stickers. I Paint Burbs is going to be selling the stickers if you're interested. However, I'm buying a chunk from her in bulk in order to give them to my community for free. She's donating a portion of all the sales to support families that are currently being torn apart. A lot of you in the comments are very confused. Hopefully this clears it up. Support artists, ICE, and all you shitheads in the replies being shitheads. Again, fuck ICE is now a position that you can say without people eating you up. Or even if people eat you up, because I'm sure like the Asmund Mold Brigade saw this and got very mad, right? And instantly they'll be like, Cutie Cinderella, you're a bitch, you suck, blah, blah, blah. How dare you do this? You want terrorism to happen in this country. You're Hassan's friend, all this stuff, right? But now there is a level of comfort and protection that you get from the crowd. This is why protests are important. This is why saying your mind is important. This is why when you see something that's going on that's wrong, that's objectively wrong, you come out and you speak out against it. Because when you say something, when you see something and you say something, you give confidence to those around you who also see the same situation, who also want to be able to criticize this kind of thing. This is why I always will do whatever the I can to give voice to the voiceless, no matter what, no matter how much people ruthlessly come after me with smears and slander. It doesn't fucking matter. Someone's got to do it. Because if we all give up, and I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't have this audience either. I'd still do it, but it wouldn't have the same level of impact and the same level of protection if I didn't have such a sizable community of like-minded individuals, empathetic individuals, kind individuals who see right from wrong. So that's it. We have power in numbers, and we have the numbers. But for far too long, unfortunately, for far too long, especially in this media environment with like Elon Musk's Twitter takeover, people have created this like false assumption inside of them. People have been following Voice of the Voiceless, get the fuck out of here, loser, LARPing chat. You don't have the numbers and are losing them. You created this sort of lame dichotomy on this app because Hassan is losing relevancy. Law, you guys are the same, just puppets online. Check mod comments. Asmund Chud. Okay. Anyway, there are Muslim Nazis too, trans Nazis as well. What's going on? Somewhere along the way, I think this guy got one-shotted, I guess. I wonder what his journey was. In any case, as I was saying, husband, but she wears chokers like a slut. They are third world parasites. Hassan is a trust fund loser who has no real opinions, Lamau, just hogwash. Hassan is R-worded. Hassan's dog. Law, Zach, Water, shut your bitch ass up. Hassan is bleeding like the tail of his old dog. Farmed. You good, buddy? Are you all right? What happened? Are you okay? What took place in your life that was so dramatic that caused you to lose sight of what you used to believe in? You know, following us is January 2nd, 2026. So I guess like we got to go around there to see what was the moment. Oh, it might have been Venezuela. They don't catch these people, though, Hassan. They don't even try to catch them. So this is the best alternative, shaming. It's one of the ways societies police themselves. Hassan's take is bad on this. Hassan has moved past. This is just how poors behave like Robin Hood. The fraudulent state investigating itself and using the evidence to discount efforts that are ushering federal efforts cringe. There are no children in any of these places. Oh, he got filtered. He got filtered by the Nick Shirley video. They only followed you again after you went into Asma's chat. He got filtered by he got one-shotted by the Nick Shirley video. He was like, yeah, them Somalis, dude. Yeah, he's been in here since 2020. First message in 2020. And then one Nick Shirley video and he just loses it. Or 2022. I thought it came out. She lied. No, Lex Neurodivergent W. Brother, that's the easiest filter to clear. How did you get filtered by Nick Shirley? That's the most embarrassing like being a Nick Shirley victim is the most embarrassing type of victim you can be. Because like, it's not even like a particularly intelligent person that duped you, you know? Wait, why did you link this to me? Oh, because older logs. 2021, Lamau, imagine being 13, Lamau negative. Been in here since 2020, and then watches the most mentally stunted adult that you cannot even clinically consider to be a fully fleshed adult make a slopaganda video with zero new evidence in it, falsely tying it back to an ongoing investigation. And that was it for him. He was like, nope, I already have my biases about his logs in your chat. Lol, Trump's team gotta hire Asmongold at this point. The defense is wild, even coming from someone who voted for him the first time. So on April 14th, 2025, he was shitting on how much Asmongold was dick riding the administration. What could have taken place? Dude, excuse me, guys. I am fascinated with stuff like this because obviously my job is to try and help people understand what's going on, right? So when you have someone that's been around for as long as this guy has in a community like this one, who in the past was, you know, seeing how biased of a propagandist Asmongold was for Donald Trump and like dick riding Trump into oblivion, having that guy turn around with one YouTube video is like, did you get a traumatic head injury or something? Like, what took place in your life that caused you to have such a significant reversal? Did Somali Antifa, your girlfriend or something? Is that what happened? Did you get hit with a Fetterman stroke gun? Victim of divorce? I don't know. He's not even responding. I don't know. Did he change his username in shame or something? I don't know what happened here, but I can't even see his logs no more. He went nonverbal. Like, how do you go from how do you do this? Like, how does this happen? This channel has been closed by the user? No. He deleted his account in shame? Buddy, I don't know if you're still in here or not, but you didn't have to do that. We get this daily, man. Ask them about Asmon and they dip instantly. That's crazy. What the? I don't get it. When people are like, see, I didn't even like repeat the energy he had for me in the chat. Like, you don't have the numbers, you're losing them. You created this sort of lame dichotomy on this app. Voice to the voiceless. Lol, you guys have no politics, just reactionary shit. What happened to this community? Hasan doesn't care. It's only America bad. You said you would be fine with re-education camps. It was justified. All of you are suburban LARPers. U.S. always bad. Hasan is a multimillionaire benefiting from U.S. hegemony. Laughable socialist LARPers. Lol, no one cares about Kyle. He's never been right because Hasan is losing relevancy. I don't... Like, did he get brain broken by Reddit or something? Is that what happens? Like, how does this happen to a person? How do you lose sight of like your worldview in its entirety? How do you go from like, you know, talking about how much Asmongold is deep throating Donald Trump to being like, I love Asmongold and I think he's right about the Somali third world parasites? Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I think like people are just like, a Canadian org is defending you. Seeking to bar us on the hunt sets a dangerous precedent for global censorship in Canada. We can't let lobby groups dictate which voices are safe for Canadians to hear. CIJA's campaign proves that they're willing to sacrifice free speech to silence critics of Israel. UBC must resist calls to censor Hasan. Is this going to be a big deal? I feel like it's not, right? The CIJA has no motion. Anyway, I get sad about stuff like this, you know? Like, I guess it's, there's always a higher priority for certain things, right? Like, in his mind, I think like maintaining American hegemony around the globe is much more stable. So he has like tremendous fear of any sort of pushback against that sort of thing. So then that causes him to snap out of like any sort of critical thinking skills he may have previously had. It could also be that he just has like unexamined, you know, racialized opinions, right? Like unexamined racialized opinions about like migrants, bad kinds of migrants that are coming into the country. So then like any sort of propaganda is very effective in moving him directly on the directly to the opposing side of the argument. But what I will never understand is how people like go back on virtually everything that they believe. You know what I mean? It's a combination of two things. They don't expect their messages to be read. They just want chat. They just want to chat the shit in the void. They're not actually prepared to receive flack in front of 40,000 viewers. This is an acquired skill, speaking from experience. Because, like, yeah, Megaphonics, he's the real victim here. But yeah, it's just strange. It is very strange that you, like, this is a phenomena that I've observed in this community for, I've been doing this for many, many years now, right? Like, there are a lot of people who come in here, they tune in for years, and then there's like one issue that they disagree with me on, and it's like a super, super serious disagreement in their mind. And they don't go, okay, maybe I don't agree with them on this one, but I agree with them on like 90% of all these other things, right? And instead of just moving on from it, they basically go, I now hate everything that this person used to represent in my life. I don't have my own personal worldview. Like, we've seen people go from literally being hyper woke in my chat to defending white people saying the N-word because they went over to Destiny's community and became fans of Destiny. And then they just like, and because the only organizing principle in that corner of the internet is basically resentment towards someone like myself, their North Star goes from, trying to combat bigotry or try to educate people to how can I make everything about Hasan and how can I turn everything into a fuck Hasan contest? Like, I don't know. I've never had a situation where I have let go of my personal convictions because someone was mean to me. Plenty of groups have been mean to me in the spaces that I occupy. Black Twitter came after me with the Nicki Minaj saga, if you remember. Trans Twitter has come after me on numerous occasions because I said, the Harry Potter game being boycotted is probably not the best move, but instead is better to like fundraise off of, playing it for like a trans charity or something. But at the end of the day, like none of that changes my mentality. I mean, I haven't dropped combating anti-Semitism, even though virtually every official professional organization that is tasked with fighting anti-Semitism has called me the #1 anti-Semitic terrorist in this country. Like, there are so many avenues where I would drop my values, drop my convictions if I operated off of like spite, right? But I don't. So I don't understand how others can do that, right? I don't understand how others can just turn around and be like, nope, this is like, I've literally decided like my whole worldview is shifted. It's a privilege of being a part of the ruling group. You can easily change your moral standings if you have no fear for reprisal. You know what that reminds me of? It's kind of like when a white rapper gets motion and then turns around and is like, I'm doing country music now because rap music is not real music. Like that type of shit. It's kind of like that. When you got many such cases where people will be like, I'm a rapper, or, I love black culture, guys, trust. And then like a couple months after they farm that to oblivion. And then they turn around and they're like, I actually don't with rap music or black culture. It's actually a very urban and not for me. I wasn't even like shitting on Post Malone there, by the way. He's not the only example of this. And to my knowledge, I don't even think Post Malone has like said anything negative about black people in general. There are certainly better examples of that. Nah, you basically quoted him directly. I don't know enough about Post Malone's situation to talk about Post Malone. Nah, he's fine. People just give him shit because he's doing country now. No, he has literally said that. Oh, okay. Never mind. Anyway. But yeah. What is this? Cutie Cinderella's calling me. Hello? You're on speaker on my stream. I'm live.
No, because freaking people are joining my Discord trying to get free stickers because you watched the clip, and I just wanted to clarify that I'm not making money off the stickers.
Okay, I didn't think that you were making money off the stickers. I watched the clip and your clarification for the record.
I just, at this point, I don't know how many times I say something, and then it's like the opposite thing is what everyone decides I said, and I'm like, what the hell?
Oh,
so I just wanted to clarify.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I don't know what that lifestyle is like. It's crazy.
My ass just got a freaking root canal. I get on Twitter, all of a sudden everyone's like, she's stealing money. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Oh,
I'm just giving away free stickers that are cute and supporting an artist.
Oh, good luck.
And supporting victims.
Good luck. Good luck
Okay.
on everything, including the root canal. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
Well, I just wanted clarification because so many people from your show, your stream, joined my Discord because they're really excited about the stickers, and I was like, I hope they know I'm not selling them. I'm giving them away for free.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure
no
everybody
problem.
knows.
No problem. None of you are getting stickers. Cutie Cinderella is farming all the money for herself. Sorry.
No, I'm not.
That's my takeaway from this convo.
Money for stickers. I'm selling. I'm actually gonna, when I get back from Utah, I'm going to Hasan's house and I'm stealing his clothing, and we're doing an auction.
Okay.
We're gonna auction off all of his clothing, and all of the money is gonna go to charity. Unless
it's gonna be millions.
Like charity,
there's millions of dollars
right now.
I hate charity.
Oh well, okay. Well, never mind then.
All right. Bye, Cutie.
Okay. Goodbye.
Who's gonna fit in that shit? It's true. You could put two people in one article of clothing. Anyway, all right, let's get back to it. Tensions erupt in Minneapolis after another shooting involving an ICE agent.
Overnight, violent crashes between federal agents and protesters in Minneapolis after a federal agent shot a man during an immigration operation. According to the Department of Homeland Security, a federal law enforcement officer shot a Venezuelan man who they say fled a traffic stop and then attacked the officer, adding that the officer fired to defend his life, hitting the man in the leg. The department also saying 2 other people assaulted the officer with a snow shovel and broom. The injured man is in custody. He and the officer were taken to the hospital. The scene quickly descending into chaos. Smoke and flashbangs filling the night sky. Agents deploying chemical irritants as demonstrators sent fireworks in their direction. ABC affiliate KSTP was on the ground as crowds gathered around the city.
The smell of those chemical irritants is definitely in the air. You can see a group of ICE agents right now. It looks like they have at least one person in custody.
This is already a very tense situation, and we do not need this to escalate any further.
Officials calling for peace, acknowledging the city is on edge.
For those that are taking the bait, you are not helping. And you are not helping the undocumented immigrants in our city.
It comes 1 week after the fatal shooting of 37-year-old American citizen and mother Renee Good. The incident sparking protests, violent scenes playing out on a daily basis, agents firing pepper spray, dragging people from cars. This newly released video shows the frantic moments as heavily armed federal agents used a battering ram to enter an immigrant family's home in Minneapolis.
Can you put the guns down? There's kids in this house. There is kids in this house. Show the warrant first.
37-year-old Garrison Gibson, an immigrant from Liberia, was facing removal for a decade-old drug conviction. But his lawyer says he has been checking in with authorities for years.
So if he's this dangerous person, then why are they letting him walk around?
And once again, the mayor here in Minneapolis saying the situation here with thousands of federal agents here on the ground is simply unsustainable. He says his officers are working tirelessly, responding to this chaos instead of focusing on basic 911 calls. George.
Faith and Booby, thanks.
A new fury has been unleashed.
Jacob Frey is such a coward. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I've already mentioned this over and over again, but like, I think they have to bring in, they have to bring in the local law enforcement, even though the Minnesota Fraternal Order of Police said that they stand firmly with ICE. Like, they have to order the cops to defend the citizens. They have to order the National Guard to defend the citizens. And the fact that they're not doing that, well, you know, eventually the federalized National Guard is going to come in and not defend the citizens, you know? I think what's crazy about it is, like, there are a million things that you can do at your disposal with local law enforcement that actually has more power than the federal agents here. Okay, it's your jurisdiction, it's your backyard. You could give them tickets. You know what I mean? You can issue moving violations. You can trespass them if the public knows that cops are on cops are on their side. Straight up. I know that this sounds stupid because we're talking about Minneapolis, right? Where the cops clearly weren't on the side of the public. And the George Floyd assassination took place not that long ago. And then they burnt down the police precinct. But things supposedly changed after that, right? Like this is an opportunity for local government to show that, like, yeah, these guys who your taxes pay for their salaries, they will actually defend you. They will defend you against federal incursion. I think it's wild that they're not doing that, even if it's like beneficial for their own goals. Like if you want harmony to be, if you want there to be some kind of harmonious existence between local law enforcement and the local population, this is literally a gift. Okay, there is no way the police will defend citizens' law that goes against their own interests. I know. But at the very least, like what they should be doing is trying to even create an environment where the cops would do the right thing. Okay. And you're wrong, by the way. There have been instances where police have been deployed, like even Karen Bass, as a chatter was saying, got ICE out of Hyde Park. Okay. With local law enforcement. Like there have been instances where there's been pushback. It's just not something that they're doing at all for some weird reason. They did it in Portland too. They did it in Chicago. Brandon Johnson. So this is literally, like, in the most cynical way, this is a PR opportunity. This is an easy W for the cops to get one.
In Minneapolis. Down this street, a man from Venezuela shot by an ICE immigration officer. Just a week after a woman was shot dead by ICE, a 15-minute drive away.
Wouldn't it indicate insurrection if that did happen? Yeah, no, I'm saying force a constitutional crisis. Yes. Like, you have to force the crisis is here. Look at what I'm looking at. Do you have eyes? That's the crisis. So you have to use every tool at your disposal to stop this. You have to push back. You can't just rely on a decentralized resistance effort from Neighborhood Watch, okay? Because that's where it's at currently. And decentralized resistance will inevitably lead to an accident or a more dangerous situation, which is an inevitability at this point, okay? And when that happens, then the National Guard will be federally mandated to go in and start shooting protesters, I guess. People don't have the capacity to imagine that things could get much worse. For some weird reason, strange reason, the way that we always approach stuff is just like, oh, this happened. Oh, who could have foreseen this? Oh, well, there was nothing we could have done. That's not the case. There's always things you can do. Okay? There's always things you can do. And it's very weird. It reminds me of the danger that I saw with Donald Trump in the election cycle, right? And just kept repeating over and over again, you're f***ing up the bag, Kamala Harris, you're f***ing it up, you're f***ing it up. You're making a lot of mistakes. You're behaving like this is a done deal. It's not the case. And now liberals still turn around and yell at me and act as though my warnings were just stupid. My warnings were like cynical, that I should have just assumed that Kamala had it in the bag. And then maybe she would have won. As though I have more command and more influence and more power than like Beyonce and Taylor Swift. A lack of political imagination is how I would coin it for what it's worth, or political curiosity. Yeah, our political imagination on the left flank of the two major parties, which doesn't mean that they're leftists at all, obviously, okay, is unimaginably stunted. It's stunted. Republicans have tremendous political imagination for cruelty, tremendous room for cruelty, and they invent new ways of behaving cruelly every single day. I mean, this is it. This is one of the examples. The utilization of Trump's own personal Heil Hitler brigade, where they have basically federalized the Gestapo, their own version of the brown shirts, that are now reliant on the government dime to go and do cruelty to Trump's political enemies. That right here is political imagination on the right. Okay? They're doing it. And if your response to this is we should force ICE agents to wear QR codes so that you can, like, right before they shoot you in the head, you can pull out your phone camera and take a photo of the QR code so you can get the badge number of the dude who's shooting you in the head before you get inundated with a bunch of Kalshi ads, and your phone just shuts off on its own instead of filming the process of your assassination. Like, if that's your solution to the problem, you've lost your damn mind. Thank you, Open Presence, for the 100 gifted subs. We said Project 2025 was already being implemented before Project 2025 was even formalized. We said that Trump was definitely going to pursue it, and people didn't think that that was the case. Or not people, but like the adults, the serious thinkers, made it seem as though it wasn't all that significant. I kept yelling about the anti-immigrant sentiment being fomented by the right and how it would justify tremendous atrocities on U.S. soil. Over and over again, I talked about it at the DNC. I warned politicians actively. I talked to them directly. I told them, if there's no pushback, if there's no organized counter messaging against this kind of stuff, people will not imagine how violent this will get until it comes knocking down their doors. All of that happened. All of that came true. It's not like I'm a particularly brilliant person gifted with foresight. I was just operating off of what Trump was saying. I was taking it seriously. And I'm warning once again, if the government continues behaving this way and there is no local pushback, not just community resistance, which is great, but if there's no pushback whatsoever, then people are going to realize that there is no one coming to save them and that they only have, their neighbors. And there will eventually be a person who takes matters into their own hands in self-defense. And then all hell breaks loose. If you don't want it to get to that, inevitability, you have to start using local law enforcement to, at the very least, be a nuisance, create additional hurdles that ICE must clear. This way, you get the local population to believe that the cops that are paid, the cops that get their salaries paid for by the taxpayers' taxes are actually on the side of the citizens. Nobody's coming to save us. We really do only have our neighbors. We have to organize and build actual power. Individual action will never bring us liberation. Only organized collective action. I agree with you, but I'm just saying this is me hoping for a Band-Aid on a hemorrhaging wound in the process. Because this kind of pushback is not going to comfort people into assuming that, they don't have to do anything any longer. It'll at the very least make organizing easier.
And this is the result.
You can see the ICE agents moving up, trying to expand the perimeter they have around the shooting scene.
You're saying Florida is using cops to assist ICE? Yeah, but this isn't Florida. This is a blue state, a blue city, and getting bluer by the second. And the Democratic administrations that are supposed to be defending their own tax-paying citizens are just out there sending Christmas letters, dude. What the you saw the shit that Tim Walz posted. You're the governor, man. What the are you doing? You're not some regular ass dude. You're the goddamn governor. You have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to protect your constituents. This is federal agitation. This is terrorism. The goal here is to dominate the masses. What good is it to literally rely? What good is it to vote for Democrats if this is what the Democrats are going to do? It's not even a strongly worded letter. Exactly. I am making a direct appeal to the president. Let's turn the temperature down. Stop this campaign of retribution. This is not who we are. This is who we are. And an appeal to Minnesotans. I know this is scary. We must speak out loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. We cannot fan the flames of chaos. That's what he wants. What a beautiful way to examine our current affairs when Tim Walz sends this dipshit ass letter to Donald Trump, and then instantly all of the replies are just bots selling that quality leering hoodie. Those who fall behind, those who think about this in terms of like electoral victories, do not have the capacity to imagine how much worse things will get. Okay? That's why I was laughing at that one chatter who was like, oh, well, don't you think we shouldn't be saying anything until the midterms in order to secure victories in the midterms? Like, what midterms? Not only does this kind of cowardice actually annoy people, not only does this kind of lack of action piss people off, and it causes them to think, why the fuck am I voting for you then? Because you're not doing shit. But also, there might not be any midterms at all. What are we talking about? I just don't get it. I think this TikTok summarizes it good. Against fascists. I mean, it's getting there is my point. And if these guys don't actually do anything, like, this is why I always laugh about the people claiming that like people like myself are accelerationists, right? Except Kaya is a third worldist accelerationist. Let's be real. That's true. Kaya. She's rising up against place. Hello. Hi. America is more cruel to the hungry than the fascists. Yeah. Funnily enough, the Dem admins literally aren't saying someone should do something, maybe you. They're literally telling people to not even resist. I mean, they are. They just keep saying like, well, if you do resist, like, make sure it's peaceful, okay? Make sure you film it when they're beating the out of you, okay? Make sure you at least film it on camera so we can have a good cry over it later. There is only, I mean, I happen to believe that there is a finite amount of time and there's a finite amount of punishment that people will take until they realize no one's coming to save us. We got to take matters into our own hands. Okay? And if you want to avoid that decentralized form of militancy, you have to get organized. And it's not just the people that have to get organized. I mean, there's already a general strike happening that they're calling for in Minneapolis, which I'm working to attend potentially. It's going to be on the 23rd, I think, or 20th. Wait, what day is it? I was talking to Omar Fateh about this. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, January 23rd. Yeah. ICE out of Minnesota, a day of truth and freedom, no work, no school, no shopping, march downtown Minneapolis at 2 p.m., January 23rd. They're going to have snipers on roofs looking for you. Everyone in this chat knows this. I don't think the federal government is going to assassinate me with a sniper rifle. Famous last words, I guess. But in any case, you are protected in the crowds. Okay? You are always protected among the citizens. I've been to enough protests that have turned into quote unquote riots through police escalation of violence enough times to know that. I know how I feel. I have a question for you. I have a good question for you. Can you please answer one question? Muhammad Hazada. All right, bitch, ask the question. The Inshallah, we will hear the question from Muhammad Hazara. But yeah, the point is, when you attend this kind of stuff, you realize that like when you're at the edges, you're the least safe. When you're closest to the cops, you're the least safe. When you're surrounded by the people, you're the most safe. From the outside looking in, it feels as though, what is it? Why the Iranis called themselves Persian? Dude. That's the question? Man, I don't know, dude. Yeah, because they all watched the movie Prince of Persia and they played the video game Prince of Persia. That's why. And they thought it was cool because it is a really good game. Anyway, this is unacceptable, dude. Look, the Trump-Vance administration just used your taxes to pay for an ICE agent to do this to a 21-year-old kid who was only protesting because another ICE agent killed a mother of 3 who was only there because ICE agents are kidnapping your neighbors.
Well, can you tell us about your injuries now and the prognosis? Will you be blind in that eye for life?
From what I've heard the doctors say and everyone else, yes, I will be blind for life. They said my globe was ruptured. I had my lower lid was cut up and they had to take skin from my temple to fix it. There's a lot to it. I don't remember all the things that they said. I have fractures in my skull that they can't fix, and I can't sneeze or cough because it's dangerous too. I remember also when I shot, there was pepper in it, and I had pepper down my throat. It made it hard to breathe for a long time. They pulled a piece of plastic the size of a nickel out of my eye. They said I had shards of metal, glass, and plastic all throughout my eye and behind my eye and in my skull. And they also said that I had a piece of shrapnel metal about a few millimeters away from my carotid artery. And they said it was a miracle I survived because if it got any closer, if it hit that, I would have died that night.
Totally blind right now? You see nothing out of the eye?
Nothing
it's
out
black.
of this eye. Yeah, it's black.
I mean, what can you say, man? What can you fucking say? Here, you want to see the video? Wear goggles, or would that make it worse? No, goggles are definitely recommended. Yes, you should always wear PPE, always. And they sometimes do have PPE that they hand out at the protest too. I responded to this call in an EMS capacity in Santa Ana. We transported the ICE officer that dragged them away. It was a surreal experience, a lack of humanity by the officers, and they were all terrified of having people see their faces. When we're taking him out of the facility, he was begging us to cover his face with a blanket and demanding an unmarked police escort. Seeing the way they behaved when they think you're on their side is so eye-opening. The other injured protesters were treated. Yeah. Cowards, dude. Can't they arrest you for passing out PPE? No, they can't. They tried to do that to the other person, but nothing came of it, for the record. If you recall, I duked it out with former friend of the show, Alex Michelson, when he was doing his classic local news beat where he was like, this guy's a real terrorist for handing out face shields. Hello. What's that? What's that over there, huh? What's going on? What's happening? No. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Out. Get out of there. Someone wants the treats. Oh, now you want to do plays. Oh, what are you doing? You licking the air? Ugh. Smells terrible. Ugh. Former friend of the show? Oh, no, I'm memeing. Alex is not a former friend of the show. That was just a joke. Still a friend of the show. Anyway. El Kaya didn't catch the treat. Oh, she's so bad at that. Fish was way better. Fish was way better at catching treats. Kaya does not. Kaya cannot catch a treat for the life of her if her life depended on it. It's crazy. Kaya Tola. Sexism? Sorry. It's just the truth. You can call it sexism or whatever you want, but it happens to be the truth. Anyway. All right, we got more stuff to cover. Let's get back to this devastating reality in America.
Tensions were already elevated here. This will only inflame them further. Officers using flashbangs and tear gas to try and break up this crowd. 6 children were taken to hospital after the car they were in was hit with gas. Their father says they were here visiting a relative.
I don't know if it came from the bottom, came through the vents, but my car just filled up like it caught on fire.
And your kids?
My kids can't breathe. They're at the hospital.
Someone else has been shot in this.
Yeah, innocent people.
Tonight.
Innocent people, innocent kids.
Did you tell the officers what they'd done?
Yeah, I was arguing with the officer to call the ambulance for 5 minutes.
He wouldn't call the ambulance?
No, he told me to call them back and get them on the line.
Go home! Go home! Part of the anger being directed towards ICE is because of their perceived aggression, and this is doing nothing to help.
I was literally the one like this, and then I was standing closest in front. They shot me up and down, pushed me really hard, pushed me.
Oh, this is the video that I already had lined up. 3 flashbangs in my car. ICE knew we were trying to leave. My 6-month-old can't breathe. Trump's goons terrorize a black family in Minneapolis to the point where EMTs have to come to help his child get away from the chaotic, dangerous scene.
Yeah, the ambulance is bringing my newborn out the house. He can't breathe. How long? 6 months. And the officer, I told him I was trying to leave. He said, it was.
The officer knew you were trying to leave?
Yes, the officer knew I was trying to leave.
He's an ICE officer.
Yes. He literally called us trying to leave.
Yeah,
they 3 flashbangs at my car. Yes, they hit the outside and under my car. My car. It's not my car.
For the record, this is why I jokingly say, who gives a fuck about Bortak in this situation, you know? Because this is what Bortak and other ICE agents are doing. So excuse me if I don't feel any sympathy towards you and how piss covered your car is, okay? It's preposterous. You have military gear, you're coming into people's neighborhoods, and you're tear gassing their babies. Get the fuck out of here, dude. It's completely ridiculous. Challenge coins found in the ICE vehicle. Clip from Status Coop stream tonight of the various documents and challenge coins found in a car abandoned by ICE agents after they shot a man in Minneapolis. Don't show it. Wait, really? Wait, why? Stop showing this? They got banned from Twitch for showing this? Why would they ban them? Was it for this or something else? Okay, I'm stopping it. I didn't show it. Like, you can't even see anything in the clip. But it was for saying the names. That's ridiculous, dude. They're doing their job. They're doing their goddamn jobs, dude. So you can have, I'm sorry, you can have Asmongold literally every day talk about how the government should go and kill protesters to show them a lesson, and he goes unbanned. But if you have actual on-the-ground reporters doing independent journalism and they get banned, are you crazy? What the fuck is this platform doing, man? What are we doing? Teach them a lesson. He's even demanded people terrorize the cops if they choose to defend the Somalis. Independent. Doing on the ground. Instead, insane. The audio is safe to play. It has no names or info. Play the audio. I mean, there's no reason. Explain the clip. What were those papers? I assume it's just like a... I assume it's... wait, what? What's going on? I can't even... Did the tweet go through? No, it didn't. People are saying it shows addresses and phone numbers. I think it has the hotel that they're staying at and shit. Maybe that's the reason why. But it's, yeah, it's operating procedures, contacts, maps, etc. And also challenge coins. What the Elon Musk, Mercado Media, and Status Quo need to be banned from X ASAP. They also removed them from Twitch. Their channels broke TOS. Oh my God. Show the medals at least. I'm not going to risk it. I don't want to get banned. Challenge coins are what cops and the army gives to people. They just like make it themselves. But it's a challenge coin is also known as a military coin, a unit coin, memorial coin. Commander's coin is a small coin or a medallion bearing an organization's insignia or emblem and carried by the organization's members. It's been around for a long time. I mean, they used to have it before World War I. Here are some examples of them. But cops also issue it to one another as well. It's quite controversial, as a matter of fact. At least the way that cops do it. They're basically just like, yeah, they're little trophies. Sometimes issued to one another. Sometimes that people pay for to make, to issue to one another for, like, you know, doing an operation or whatever. Yeah, they have loot drops. I did IT for police departments. They gave me one all giddy, and I was like, why the fuck do I care? Maybe I should start carrying that for these hogs. I mean, there's not much to talk about other than the fact that people broke into the cars, apparently, after they left the cars. Here, this was Kash Patel's challenge coin that he made for himself. Is the MAGA parent interview still happening? Yes, it's going to be happening next week, though. Yeah, it's unimaginably ugly. That is the Punisher, yes. Anyway. All right. Where was I? Showed you the family. All right, let's continue.
Me and then shot me like close with, I mean, just these things.
With what? Pepper bullets, I think?
Pepper balls, and I think maybe rubber. Yes, I love this country so much. I think it's the greatest country in the world. But what they're doing to the people, this is what they'll do to me. They'll shoot a woman in the face.
Stories of people being violently dragged from their cars or plucked from buses.
Shut the f up, chatters. You're talking about a dude who just got brutalized by cops and ICE, and you're over here calling him a clown. What the f are you doing? You're just typing at home. Okay? He's right. It's the same reason why I don't leave, okay? It's the same reason why I don't leave the United States of America. Everybody always says, Hassan, why don't you f off? Why don't you leave? Both my haters and lovers alike. Why don't you go live somewhere else? It's getting dangerous out here. This is the reason. Because I still have a firm commitment and belief that there are far too many kind-hearted people out here who can recognize right from wrong. Okay? Stop being weird. That's what's so f***ed up about it. Look, I don't have any... Make no mistake, okay? I don't believe that, the left is ever going to win over patriotism back from the right, okay? That's not a real thing. Patriotism in the United States of America is measured by how racist you can get, okay? But if you have people out there who are trying to stop this kind of federal incursion, this kind of terrorism from happening, those are the real patriots, technically, okay? What is more patriotic than wanting to redistribute all of the productive output that we have back to the people, rather than a hand-selected few billionaire parasites. That's patriotism, technically. Okay? That's what this is. If I didn't love this country, I would leave it. I have enough financial security to be able to go anywhere else I want to. Okay? Patriotism, unfortunately, in the United States of America, broadly, is mistaken with all the jingoistic, rah-rah American nationalism. But the people that refuse to leave, the people that actually push back, the people that actually resist, the people that actually demand more, those are the people who actually want to do right by others, by other Americans, okay?
Stops by ICE are spreading here.
They're trying to kill our people. They're trying to take our people from our state. For what reason? We do not know why. Leave us alone. We don't need y'all here. We don't want y'all here. Go somewhere else.
I just live 3 blocks down, and what the hell is this? Look at them. They're in army fatigues. They're all lined up blocking the street, standing there with their rifles.
Can you believe this is America in 2026?
Oh, no.
I'll talk about Mahmoud Khalil in a second, too.
No way. No. I never thought. This is Nazi Germany in 1934.
3,000 ICE agents have been sent to this city by Donald.
Like, those people are not card-carrying DSA members, chat. Those are just regular-ass people. Those are regular-ass grandmas. Those are your neighbors, okay? The difference between people like that and maybe your parents is that your parents are ruraloid Oklahomans who haven't experienced this yet, okay? That's the only difference. That's the reason why they have this, like, entitled attitude where they look at that and go, this is exactly what I voted for. Make no fucking mistake.
Trump to carry out his migrant crackdown.
What's your name? What's your name?
Critics say they're inadequately trained and pressured with arrest quotas to meet. It's a combustible combination, and it's being met with increasing resistance.
Yeah, look at that. That's a PSL. That's a PSL voter right there.
Nobody knows where.
Take off your mask!
Oh yeah, angry mob demands federal agents leave the Minnesota restaurant too. That was awesome. He's a fat.
Out of here, you fat little.
Un-American pieces of
Nazi piece of.
Some families in Minnesota say that they're living in fear with the increased ICE presence.
And that is why one mom in Minneapolis is leading the charge.
For the record, a lot of people hear this, and if they're Trump supporters, a lot of people hear this. I'm not going to watch Crackhead Barney, dude. Her nipples are going to slip. And are you guys trying to get me banned? Like, first you send me the status quo video, then you send me Crackhead Barney. What's next, dude? Link porn. Link porn right now. It. Let's go ban for ban, dude. Chat, link some pornography. Why don't you? Let's do some porn reacts. Let's go out with a bang. God damn, dude. What's happening today? Are y'all all right? Anyway, Trump supporters look at this and go, hell yeah, put the fear of God into those illegals' hearts. Not realizing that it's not just the illegals. First of all, you shouldn't be excited at the prospect of someone who has less than you getting destroyed, having their lives destroyed by, the federal government. That's psychotic. But even if you don't understand, like, this is not just the illegals that are being threatened here, okay? It's everybody. It's everybody. It's your neighbors.
To help families at her daughter's school. Arshanu Her spoke with her and joins us now with her story.
Right now in Minneapolis, Destiny Prosper feels like there are just so many questions lingering, but the mom in her is searching nonstop for an answer.
Families are struggling as is to put dinner on the table. And then we add in the increased ICE presence here in the Twin Cities. Folks are afraid to leave their home, and they're not getting their basic needs met. Now our kids can't go to school out of fear.
Destiny's been thinking of ways to help families at her daughter's school, Jenny Lind Elementary in North Minneapolis. Students in Minneapolis public schools have the option right now to learn virtually for the next month if they feel safer doing so with the increased ICE presence locally.
Even though my child isn't, say, directly affected, her friends aren't there. She's noticing, Mom, where is so-and-so? They didn't come to school. And it hurts that I have to have that conversation with my 6-year-old.
Destiny decided the answer is action. She launched a GoFundMe to raise money for families at the school who need some help and will even deliver necessities to people's homes if she has to.
You are a part of our community. I think that's the biggest thing, is that these families are feeling singled out. They're feeling like they don't belong. And one thing I've learned being here in the wonderful state of Minnesota and in Minneapolis is we all belong here.
She says others are already quickly jumping in to help her as well. So any of the negative comments she may have gotten for doing this won't stop her, and she'll continue to work hard like a mother.
This is for the kids. Yeah. Like, we've gotten this far. There's no turning back now. Yeah. No turning back now. Yeah.
In Minneapolis, Chanu Her, Fox 9.
And Destiny did say that she has talked with school administration and they have been pretty helpful.
And she says the gift cards to give to families can also be a big help, as well as just volunteering their time to deliver. If you'd like to help out, her information is on a GoFundMe at fox9.com.
We're outside the Federal Whipple building, and it's been getting a bit tense.
Protests continue to engulf Minneapolis 1 week after ICE officer Jonathan Ross shot and killed Renee Nicole Good. Federal officials say that the shooter...
My 67-year-old moderate live farmer mom from rural Kentucky is open to attending her first protest. She's nervous about protesting, but has been angry for a long time. I'm proud of her. Yeah. Dude, I swear to God, it's more boomers than anything else. It's kind of crazy. Stop saying 6'7". Oh my God, this chat, y'all are so stupid. I'm telling you, dude, it's the wine moms, dude. It's the Karen vanguard, white woman vanguard. It's crazy. Like, the people that have been straight blue ticket voters who think like, oh, I'm moderate. Like, those are the people. And the non-voters too. Those are the people who are pissed off. There's real opportunity here for those who can seize it. Kind of feels like Democrats as a party are not even remotely invested in seizing it, though, because they keep saying we have no options here. We've run out of options. We have no way to respond to any of this. You know, it's not going to work.
With self-defense.
What are you doing?
Tensions here have been mounting for a month.
Are you bored, lady? Is that what it is? You didn't get your energy out this morning? Okay. Kaya, okay. Come. Hold on. Ooh. It's a little clump. Okay, let's get, all right. Barbara here, just throwing my local rapper response on the West Coast. Hell yeah.
Ever since a surge in immigration enforcement brought thousands of ICE agents into the city, hundreds more are expected this week.
Democrats are punishing the voters for not voting for Kamala? No. The Democratic Party is just cowardly. They don't even care about like being vindictive here, okay? That's not the case. I think they're pussies. They're cowards, okay? They're babies. They think, you know, if they roll over, if they keel over and really get the Americans to realize how f***ed up the Republicans are, maybe they'll eke out a marginal victory. I don't think that's going to be successful. There's tremendous discontent towards the Democrats as well. Okay? But when I'm talking about like the Democratic voters, a lot of the liberals are actually waking the f*** up. They're waking the f*** up because we didn't see this in 2016 because of the liberalized version of resistance, the hashtag resistance that took place that treated Trump as an aberration and not like a logical conclusion to American fascism. That said, this is not us. This is not who we are. Liberals basically were able to soothe themselves into believing that the liberalized version of resistance was enough, and that the Democrats were actually seizing on that opportunity at the time, and therefore thought voting for the Democrats would be the best possible way to solve this issue. Okay? Now, and you might have been too, how do I call it? How do I say? You might have been too young, some of you, not all of you, but you might have been too checked out of politics at the time. But we observed all of this stuff that was going on back then. Okay? And then 2020 came around. And after the defeat in 2024, I think a lot of liberals who are lifelong Democrat Party voters realized maybe the Democrats are lying to us, and this whole like centrism, hugging and kissing Liz Cheney, avoiding talking about Gaza while, participating in this genocide. All this stuff was maybe not the most effective way to go about it. The whole like lesser evil voting as the modus operandi for the Democratic Party was ineffective. It was unsuccessful. And now you're seeing the Bernie-crat movement within the ranks of the Democrats. Now, it doesn't go far enough by my estimation, even though I will still respect Bernie for, at the very least, like standing by and letting, far more radical candidates come out. Like he does actually prop them up, whether it be Zohran Mamdani, Abdul El Sayed, candidates that have better positions than Bernie does on American foreign policy from time to time. Or even on certain issues, right? So liberals have been very, very positive towards candidates such as that one. I think Bernie Sanders' take on a lot of these issues, like Medicare for all, things of that nature, no like identity politics infused sinister messaging. This kind of attitude is actually broadly received by the base of liberal voters as a positive, as a better mechanism for change, as a better way to win elections. LAOC, this was a great position on AOC's part. You guys are wrong. And David Shore has to bend the knee here as well. Well, Mr. Popularist, we recently tested a dozen public statements from a diverse set of Democratic elected officials on the murder of Renee Good, and this was the top testing one. I wonder what this one looked like. When Pablo Reports asked Elisa Slotkin the same question, this is how she responded.
Senator, I'm sorry if you've already been asked this, but where are you at on ICE funding? And do you support increases to ICE funding?
I mean, they had a massive increase with the big, beautiful bill. And my issue is not just the quantity, but the left and right limits that they have to employ with all these new officers and all this new training. So I am certainly undecided on voting for any homeland funding package.
Are there any specific writers?
More like Elisa Slopkin, am I right? I mean, dude, come on. Come on, either shit or get off the pot. What do you mean you're certainly undecided? Who the still thinks this kind of messaging works? Who are these guys talking to? Whoa, Kaya, what the your big old ass, you're gonna break shit. Who are these guys communicating this message to? Ain't nobody's receiving this positively.
You'd like to see?
There's a couple things I'm interested in, but that's for internal negotiation.
We'll ask again next week.
Senator, I know you're not endorsing in the Senate primary.
Senator, I'm sorry if you've already been asked.
I hate these so much. The pathetic groveling continues. I know. I'm going to get to that in a second. Hold on. Hasan Reaction is one of the best ones in the React channel.